welcome to our video. We have Katie Thompson, Austin Sansbury, Nathan Toon, Danica Benitez, Alize Tarver, and me, Lindsay. Alright, this is our Socratic seminar for Wuthering Heights. Enjoy!
First question, what exactly is Heathcliff's obsession?
Catherine?
Yeah. Exactly.
Weird. Or, I don't know, is he like obsessed with the idea of...
Maybe he doesn't obsessed with the, like, lust.
Obsessed with the idea of love? Yeah, like maybe he wants to be in love, but he knows like Catherine's kind of a crappy person.
The way I took it was, what does Catherine, stand for? What are her
I think
beliefs?
she's just selfish.
She's
And then-
selfish.
Just
And
from
then-
reading like summaries and like stuff like that, she just doesn't seem like she's very shallow. Only lives as to what other people think of her.
I feel like the entire thing is really messed up because she really enjoys his company, but because of who he is and his class separation, if you will, even though he's, and that's another messed up thing, is that they were raised by the same family and they like each other, but she married technically higher, but still wants Heathcliff's company despite that huge kind of middle finger to him.
What's it called when you're not confident in yourself? What is that?
Self-conscious?
Self-conscious.
Self-conscious.
Insecure.
Yeah, she's very
that's
insecure.
great.
It seems like she's insecure with not with looks or anything, but her decisions in general.
Her class, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to be higher up than she is, and that you can see that a lot with her upbringing by the Grange, or the Lintons, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I took
remember.
that. I remember with my question, what is Heathcliff's obsession? I took maybe he's obsessed with people who are self-conscious about themselves or insecure.
He's like a hunter. It's
Yeah.
This is a bad reference maybe.
It's right here.
This is like a bad reference maybe, but how a senior guys are not saying our senior class, but those senior guys when they see new freshmen they want to date them or whatever because they don't know who they are
That's
yet.
just nice.
I think that's probably what it is.
And he does kind of go after,
I think it's funny.
when he marries, I can't remember any of the characters' names.
I know.
I don't
Lady
know,
number one. He married lady number one.
He marries the Linton chick.
Wasn't her name Catherine also?
No, her name was was it Linda? Does anybody have the book?
It's in
I
the
got the book, but my bag in the class. But it's not her backpack.
We're gonna find her
people.
name.
We have phones.
Hey, we have a book.
Shall we ask another
I think
question?
they for anything.
Because I can ask one.
I have questions.
I do too.
I had a question too.
Alright, well I guess we can move on.
Can I ask my question?
Her name's not important.
Yeah.
Um.
Okay, so what was your question?
My question is, well, I wrote it like this. Seems to me that it's nothing but interesting how Emily, how do you say her name? Bronte?
Just say Emily.
Emily uses so many people to tell a story. Why does she do that?
That was one of my questions too.
That was mine.
She also uses their perspective
Yeah.
and never has Catherine's or Heathcliff's perspective. It's just outside accounts of what they.
That's another weird thing is that
How
it's
people do
a
that.
perspective of this John guy being told stories.
Mm-hmm.
And also reading the diary and all
But
that.
it's also really weird. Nobody tells a story like they're telling the stories, with those details, I walked and there was a dark shadow, or the leaves were falling gracefully from, it's nobody actually talks like that.
Exactly.
And so this whole thing is just a very strange story.
It's you never
It's
know
awkward.
it seems to me you don't actually know what actually happened because he's being told the story by some people. I mean they could have freaked out, but he wasn't necessarily there, so
So I guess the whole purpose of telling it from that point of view is that maybe, is the Linton that Heathcliff married,
It's like the fifth person.
is she dead?
I'm not sure.
Because a lot of the people have passed away, and it's so,
I didn't quite figure that part out.
I feel like the whole purpose of having it
the
told,
person's dead.
I feel like having it told from all the different perspectives
That maybe
is,
they are dead.
I was talking.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is to kind of like reiterate what once was, maybe?
Yeah,
And like,
a reflection.
yeah.
Maybe-
From somebody
Reflection
who's
of-
not like crazy like they are.
Maybe it's like, you know, like when you're like we're reading our history books. Maybe it's like something like that. Maybe that's the maybe that's the reason why it's like a significant thing that happened within history, or at least their history. So if you like when you're reading a history book, it's teaching us something. So maybe it's just teaching. Maybe it's showing us the theme of the theme of the story is the reason why. But yeah.
Anybody else have a question?
I had like some kind of vague ones that you could like into. What archetypes do Catherine and Heathcliff represent? How do they affect each other?
Oh.
They're vague, but they're good.
Yeah.
Would you
That
say
is a good one.
Would
They're
you
bad, but they're good.
Vague. Sorry.
Vague.
would you say that Catherine is a damsel in distress?
Yes.
She's like, oh, the fever. Oh, Heathcliff, I'm sorry. I'm gonna
She-
throw
I could
myself
not
on
have
the
a
sofa
girlfriend
and
like
hit
that.
everyone.
I
Yeah.
could not.
I would punch you right in the throat.
I'd be like, if you don't get to
In fact, doesn't Heathcliff like threaten to punch like several people? And then he
Yeah.
gets punched in the face by the Linton guy, and
It's
I'm
like
like,
he's dating Catherine.
but
Well,
you said you would.
I know who I am in the book.
She's.
It's on video.
I know. Like,
What archetype does Heathcliff?
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know that one.
He's a very strange character because he's not a nice person, so he's not exactly a hero to me.
I'd say maybe
No.
authoritarian, like he has to exert his
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What does that
stuff.
mean?
Like he feels like he has to like assert himself amongst everyone.
Like he has
no
to be
matter
the
who it
person
is.
in charge.
Yeah.
he has to be my
Would that
sister.
maybe be because the way he was brought up, like
I think he has a problem with authority.
Yeah.
Because especially like being raised by that god like he was adored by the first Earnshaw,
Right.
but then like after he passed away he had to deal with the authoritative figure of the next Earnshaw,
Mm-hmm.
who was a huge jerk.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to like connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like the characters are all over the place. I can't even remember half their names, so I'm like Earnshaw, this Earnshaw, and then Linton,
Exactly.
Linton,
I'm like,
Linton,
I'm just trying to remember the plot.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask them.
What's significant
I'll
about
ask
the
them
way
next.
Emily brings fear up throughout the novel?
Fear?
There is a lot of the fear regarding Catherine's mental and
Yes.
physical health, with how many fevers they have and how she like miraculously comes back from them. But like the last time that I've read so far, this book is really hard to get through.
It is.
Does she
She
have
doesn't
like
quite come back from it.
mental illnesses? Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
She doesn't recover fully?
I don't think so because
She's a
like
psychopath.
they get to the
Not
point.
psychopath.
They get to the
but-
point where she's like confined to being inside and she's just miserable and she doesn't want to go to her sick room.
Maybe.
She's,
I'd
I don't
say.
think so. She doesn't ever talk about. Well, actually, she
She
does like.
probably shows
Or she's
symptoms
just
of it.
schizophrenic and these are just all the voices in her head.
Well, then Nellie would make
Oh!
Well, that.
That would be
Are
cool.
you regarding Nellie or?
No, I'm talking about like from all the different perspectives.
Okay, why do they regard the same person as Nellie and Ellie?
I don't know.
Maybe-
that
so
annoys the
confusing.
heck
It's
out of me.
annoying.
Well, maybe Ellie could
Maybe
be
she's right. Voices.
two different people. It could be two different.
This is giving me a headache.
No, it could be the same person,
Multiple
just different names.
personalities.
Or her last name is Nellie or something. I don't know.
Nickname?
Could be a nickname. Yeah, it could be a nickname. Like Ellie could be, Nellie, Ellie.
They didn't want to say the N.
It's just too long. Elliot is.
Oh, so the fear thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like fear for mental illness, fear of Heathcliff because he's so violent and angry, fear of
Losing her mind.
yeah.
Maybe that's the main theme of the book.
fear.
Or gaining it back. I don't know.
It's not love. It's
Fear.
fear.
Oh, this whole thing is a messed up
Well,
love
that
story.
could make
as it is.
sense with the fear thing that she's scared of. I don't know. Never mind. I don't even know where I'm going with that.
She's scared of love. Scared of love.
Like the
I
only
think
reason
she's
why
scared
she's
of loving
Acceptance.
somebody who's lower than her.
like the only reason why she's
She's
with
insecure, but
Is
she's
it
also being
status?
narcissistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From her
she's
status.
too scared to. I don't know, break away from Heathcliff, so she just stays with him.
Like the,
Maybe because that's all she knows.
the theme
Sorry.
of the book might not be fear, it might be like societal pressure and the fear that it involves.
Yeah, that
Which is-
brings out in the person.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay.
No, we good.
Okay. How does this time period, or how does the time period affect the novel as far as like a Marxist criticism perspective? So basically, how does
Classism. Definitely.
classism?
Gender roles, like females,
That's
well,
more like feminism though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I also asked
Oh.
that,
Yes, definitely.
or had that
feminism.
question. Like, oh, I must have a husband, to the point where she's like, I'm gonna run off with this dude because I like him a little bit.
And then the males have to take care of everything, and there's like the whole stigma of being the
Exactly.
man.
I have a better question, which might really draw some interesting conversation. What is the significance of having this whole story in such a secluded location? It's between like two homes, basically the whole time.
I thought about writing that one down.
Wait,
I was
wait,
like,
wait, wait.
no.
Say
Why
that
is it
again?
only between two?
The
Pretty much-
significance of it being in like such
It's like
a
an
secluded place.
isolated
It's
area.
like a
Like they
weird-
never leave.
It's like a weird valley between like the Grange Manor and the Wuthering Heights.
The only thing
That's like
they
it's-
know.
I feel like that question like ties
It's
into
familiar.
like, because you know how like I feel like each person they bring up throughout the story it represents something. Like you know how like
An archetype?
yeah,
Maybe it's the
you know like how we
inner workings of the
read literature like a professor now like the wind means this. Well, I think that's their character signifies something, and I think the two places signify something. I just don't know what.
Like one character could represent freedom, another one insecurity, another one.
Katie, could you say what you said again?
It's kind of like maybe it represents the inner workings of a mind,
Because like the two sides.
and they like each character represents different emotions or times in life. I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out of thin air because I. don't
That
know.
makes sense though.
But
that
that
It does
makes
make
sense.
sense.
It makes sense.
Like the basics of a human mind.
Because then that can tie in like societal pressure on the mind.
That's why it's gonna be
fear
so-
on the mind, romance. Wow,
So
that's really
it's
legit.
Still familiar.
Romance
that-
is from the mind, is from the heart.
That is.
I'd be like, don't read the book.
I'd like, we like make a video for the upcoming class. Here's a life lesson for you.
Don't read Wuthering Heights.
Miss Bing, you told us this book was good. Just
This
saying.
book's-
Why you lied?
Okay. Here's another.
Brittany's behind the camera going, I told you so.
Sorry.
Anyways.
Another question.
All right.
What part does social status and social climbing play in character
I was gonna
behavior?
ask that. Little class.
Well, I don't.
Social class
Can
and
you
social
repeat the
what?
question because I didn't get it.
Social.
Okay, let me read it.
We gotta stop
What
talking
part
over
does
it.
social status and social climbing play in character behavior?
Maybe that's the reason why he. What's his name? Heathcliff. He.
Or Heathcliff.
Heathcliff?
Heathcliff.
Maybe that's the reason why he actually he does fight everybody. I see it as he thinks he's better than everyone.
But ironically, he's like seen as really low because of how he was brought up, and he seems like this savage person, and he's like, I am above you all.
So going off of that, knowing all the horrible things that he did, do you feel any pity for him?
No.
No.
Well,
He is the diva.
He's a bad
to a certain
word.
extent, you could maybe feel a little bit because of just of the way he was brought up.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
But
'cause
yeah,
you can't help that.
Yeah, he was constantly put down because of just who he was.
So maybe that. I mean, yeah. I take my answer back. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for him because like the way, like you said, the way he grew up, he can't control what he's seen. He's only doing what he's seen. I feel like that's how like almost every child is raised. Not oh, that's not the start argument or whatever. But I feel like that's how almost every child is raised or taught. At least he's doing what he's taught. So it's not necessarily it's not necessarily his fault that he's a jerk.
I feel like you can, 'cause in the beginning of the book it talks about how humble he was as a child. He would get knocked out by his family, basically pinched and slapped and talked down to, and he was just happy little Heathcliff. But you can only take that so long as a human being. And so he's just got this vengeful mind now. He just wants to get back at everyone and get back at the world for treating him like crap.
'Cause
So I
he's-
I pity him, but I don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's still like talking to John whatever.
John, what's his face?
John
Locksmith, locker.
What's his
Locker
nuts?
room?
I just.
locker room.
John.
John L.
But it's like, what
Yeah,
you hear
whatever
and
his
see
name.
in your childhood that really affects you.
Yeah.
I'm really a Draco person, not
Like when we were
Yes.
reading.
It can.
I'm gonna stop.
the kite runner.
Yeah. how that dude that raped
Seth
Right,
raped
the other dude.
Hassan and Sarab.
He was
Yeah.
like, his parents really didn't care how he was raised, true, but he had that same mentality. For some
Yeah.
reason, it seemed like he wanted to get back at the world.
But he had a great life.
But then again, Asef was raised like a neo-Nazi
Yeah.
Taliban.
Well, the thing is that he had that lack of parental,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Guidance.
watchfulness and guidance, yes. So he became like a
He wasn't
monster.
ever punished.
And then Heathcliff was abused and became like a monster. So, long
Because all he
story
knew
short,
was abuse and
raise your
neglect.
kids right.
Raise your kids right.
Be a good parent.
Yeah.
Don't walk out.
Or don't, like, die of, what was it?
Oh,
Whatever it was.
Don't die while your kid is still young, basically. I don't know.
Die when they're older.
Sometimes you can't help
Die when
it,
they're
but-
older. I know. Just kidding.
Okay.
You haven't really asked the question yet.
Well,
I
because you
realize
keep
that.
asking,
You
you've
asked
asked like
this one,
5.
though.
I only asked 2.
Right.
He's asked 2,
Alright, go
y'all. Okay. Who or what does Heathcliff represent in the novel? Is he a force of evil or a victim of it?
I'd say
Victim
he's
of evil.
both.
Both.
He'd be
yeah.
both. At the beginning, he was a victim, and then he becomes.
They turned him into
Yes, they turned him
force
into
of
the
evil.
force of evil.
I feel like he's a victim the whole time.
What is the?
Because he's only.
Oh,
changes.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
the
okay.
book.
Oh,
I-
dynamic character?
There you go.
He's dynamic.
He's very dynamic.
I feel like he's just a victim in the novel because he's only, like we said in the last clip, the last thing. He's only. Can you stop? Thank you.
Keep going. So I'm about to argue.
He's only an example of what he's gone through. So I mean, yeah, you should take out pain on everybody, but
Okay.
that's his way of getting over it.
So
Danica's about to throw some shade.
Question.
no. So if every person were to live off of based off of things that have happened to them in the past, wouldn't every person be pretty awful? Because everybody has a different story.
That's true.
Exactly. Everybody's awful in their own way.
I agree.
I just think a lot of it has to do with how you're raised and how you choose to do with what you have. If you decide, I have had a crappy life, now everybody else is going to have a crappy life because I hate the air I breathe and everything else, then that's one thing. But if you decide, I grew up and I wasn't happy with how I was raised, so I'm going to change the world and make it a different place. That's a lot of it is human choice.
I'm just saying that you made it.
Yeah.
I made it out of there, so time to move on.
It's like when a parent tells you, like my dad always tells me, I want you to be better than what I was.
I know that tells me that too.
My parents told me that too.
So it's like that.
I get
You
it
just gotta
all
be big.
the
You gotta
time.
be. I mean, he should have been better than what he seemed.
And I feel like he thought he was trying to be better, but didn't realize that saying, I am going to slit Earnshaw's throat is not being a better person.
It's being worse.
It's being vengeful.
Just as bad or worse.
Yeah. Because that starts to rub off on literally everyone. Catherine gets angrier and angrier and eventually gets a fever and goes freaking crazy and dies eventually. And he's just, everybody at Wuthering Heights eventually is just angry and it's just sad.
But there's
just
anybody
me.
else around them, there's not regular people.
That's the thing, it's such a secluded area. It's like there's not another person for miles and miles. Like, all they had to do as kids, Heathcliff and Catherine would run over to the Grange place and snoop on them.
Going back to what Danica
And
said,
go
I
through
really feel like this is something that's made up into her mind, and the 2 houses probably is the left brain and the right brain, like she was talking about, because it all seems. I mean, it is a book and it is supposed to be fake.
Yeah.
But within the book, it's fake inside the book. That makes sense.
I don't think it's a figment of Catherine's imagination because it's Nellie telling the story.
But she could be Nellie.
But it's also
Wuthering
told by
Heights is actually
John.
Inception.
And she's John too.
Oh my god. Tell me a story again, Nellie. Okay. Well, it goes like
People
this.
do that in the crazy home.
I know, even if Heathcliff just walks in and he's like, what are you talking about? That never happened. Catherine just got syphilis or something.
Yeah, because it talks.
He's cracking up.
It
Oh my
talks about-
gosh.
It talks about her getting sick or whatever. and it
It
goes
goes
brief
like
into-
this.
It goes into a brief discussion of how she's not all the way there, I guess. So I think it could be. She could.
We think this book is just a cluster.
Well, it could all be, you know, like with the John and Nellie thing. There are people who have multiple personality disorders.
I don't think that's what this is, though. I think you guys are making it too complicated. She's not that crazy.
I
It's Nellie telling a
overcomplicate
story.
everything. What are you talking about?
But that would make the book so much interesting if she was crazy.
Well, Catherine's crazy. She saw herself in a mirror and started screaming.
I do that every day. What do you mean?
So ugly.
I do that every morning.
I don't look at mirrors, they tend to crack.
Okay,
snap.
anyway,
Up, right?
getting back on track. Does anybody have any more questions they would like to ask?
Mine kind of already went over.
How about my last question?
I
You
may
guys
have
already
one.
like pretty much
I got a
asked a
question.
variation of all
Alright,
the questions.
Alexander.
What role do the personalities of the narrators play in the way that the story is told?
The personalities?
Oh, hey, that was fun. Mine.
Okay, so you have Nellie, and she's kind of down to earth, and she's straight up like, I don't like them. I don't like Heathcliff. I pity him. I don't like Catherine. She annoys the heck out of me. She's like straight up like, I don't take any crap. I'm not gonna pretend to like them. Yeah, she's very blunt. And she seems the most sane
My life.
out of literally everyone in this entire story.
Or if you're one that's like,
Yes, very sad.
She has been pinched and smacked the crap out of. She almost had her, like, her baby, which was, what was the baby's name?
Yeah.
The kid that turned into a piece of crap. He almost got thrown off a balcony and died. She's gone through so much, and like she's down to earth. I feel like everything that she tells is the truth. When you have the letter and everything.
But she might be kind of biased though.
She might be biased because she's a human being, but I feel like she's the most down to earth. Like she's watched these people grow up.
Yeah.
She's old. Probably one of the oldest characters in this book because
She's been through a lot.
yeah, and which is surprising. Like this time period, like you get a paper cut and you're like, well, that's sad. I'm gonna die.
well, this could be like me overthinking again.
That
It
might
could
be
be all
awkward.
dead. This could be like dead.
A dead story. Well,
I
this
bet
is probably
ghost is telling the story.
written in like
Well-
the time before cars. So.
With what Alize just said, how do spirits and the supernatural play a role in the story? How do they propel the plot?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to answer that one.
Well, a lot of this, like remember in the beginning when Catherine comes through the window in the guy's dream?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like that was actually a dream?
Or was it real?
Dun, dun, dun.
Or was it in her head?
Episode 7 of Wuthering Heights.
This is why this book sucks.
Yeah, it's such a confusing book.
You could like pull anything out of this book and make it into anything you
Yeah.
want.
Anything can be true about it.
Really? Anything you
Heathcliff is
want?
just a really angry horse. Just really, he's like, nobody puts a saddle on Heathcliff.
What?
I don't know. I was.
People always probably think we're crazy.
Yeah.
How long is this got the thing? Because I know when we uploaded the video last time, it wouldn't upload because it was too long.
Well, I fixed my YouTube account to where I can upload.
I got one more question.
Okay, awesome.
Let's go back.
Do you think Braunt's characterizations of women mark her as a pioneer ahead of her time? Or not?
It definitely wasn't popular during her time period. It was
What
like,
time frame was this?
Like 18 something. It was like the time before cars and like people died young because they got sick.
Yeah.
So and they ate stuff like gruel and rode horses and stuff.
it was like
Will it
mid
say-
1800s.
Will it say?
I think it's 1800.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
What was the question?
So back then,
You
women
want me to
didn't do
read
much, right?
ask it?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder it's so secluded. You can't go anywhere.
Do you think Braunt's characterizations of women mark her as a pioneer ahead of her time or not?
Well, a lot of it still included like I still need a husband to be worth anything.
Yeah.
But did
Which is so dumb.
I don't think it did. I mean, it was just kind of like a.
like they portrayed the women as more than dainty.
Yeah.
They were like smacking each other and wrestling and stuff.
It kind of portrayed more real women, kind of. Like the dirty, like the
The
bad
darker
side of
side,
women.
Yeah.
So I guess that could be like a cool precedent that she set.
They were kind of more human instead of just like pretty little princesses.
Yeah, like go sew something and make me a sandwich. Okay, husband. No, it was like, I hate you and you're a coward. I'm gonna go lock myself in my room and starve myself. Because emotions.
It does say in here.
You really need to get into theater.
I was freshman year, but I didn't like it very much.
It does say that it is a story of a haunted house.
Oh, it's haunted.
Whoa.
Yes, it says right here.
So yes, the supernatural plays
It
a
says,
part.
Wuthering Heights is the story of a haunted house, a structure and a family haunted by grief, by sorrow, by memory, by love denied.
So it's not actually
It's not
haunted.
actually
she's
haunted.
not-
It's theoretically haunted.
So she's not crazy.
Okay, it just said haunted by different emotions.
That's
Yeah, by grief,
By
sorrow,
different ghosts,
memory, and love
low-key.
It
denied.
didn't
The
say
different-
ghosts.
Yeah, that is true.
The different
That's
emotions
theoretically.
Now okay, different emotions of the different people. Boom.
And it's also
That are
a
dead.
it's also a story. It's a story set within a story.
We know
That works too.
Yeah.
We knew that.
Yeah, we did know
That's
that.
hard. That's why
Alright,
this book's so hard.
do you guys want to close this off? It's
Sure.
gonna be pretty long.
In short,
AP Lit Nerds out.
Sorry so many people walked through it.
Yeah, rude.
Where's the
Sorry you didn't